So we've got all of our ingredients here for our beef bourguignon, and we're ready to start on it. Our meat has been, and this is a chuck roast. We want nice marbling in our meat. A nice cheap cut though is great. It's going to be cooking for a while, so it's going to make it nice and tender. It's covered in a bottle of Pinot Noir. It has just a little bit of salt and pepper, about a quarter teaspoon each, because we will season more as needed later on. A bunch of fresh thyme is in here, as well as 3 bay leaves, which we'll remove, and then we're going to take the meat out of the wine and save the wine for the sauce. So you'll also need some bacon, some finely chopped onion. We're going to use pearl onions. We've got some carrots here sliced on the diagonal, some mushrooms that are halved, some fresh parsley for later, 3 tablespoons of flour, 2 to 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, and 2 tablespoons of butter, as well as a container of beef broth ready to go. If you love the wine flavor, you can do totally like all wine, Pinot Noir all the way. A couple bottles is what you need. And remember to get the quality. Your food always tastes better if you use a quality of wine that you will drink just as happily. So, and then again, on the flip side of that, if you don't want too much wine, use a little bit less and more beef broth. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to remove our meat from the wine here, and we'll be right back and get everything going. So we've got our large skillet or frying pan heated up to, it's a medium-high heat. This one cooks really hot. You can do it whatever temperature you normally crisp your bacon at. We're going to get these nice and crispy, and then they'll go into our Dutch oven or a casserole dish, whatever you want to use. It has to be big enough to hold all of the contents, as well as put a lid on it. So that most of my casserole dishes are not ones that have lids, so we're opting for the Dutch oven today. Now it's usually about 8 minutes to crisp your bacon up, and then what we're going to do is leave the bacon grease. If you have a ton of bacon grease, strain some out. But if there's not a ton of grease in here, we're going to use it to cook the marinated cubed chuck steak instead of adding more oil. Plus you have more flavor with the bacon grease. You'll also need whatever grease is remaining to cook our diced onions in, and then on top of that we'll be adding the flour and the tomato paste, and then the wine and broth into our flour mixture once we get past cooking the meat. So I've got my bacon nice and crispy here, and I've got my Dutch oven right next to it. I'm just going to transfer the bacon into the Dutch oven and then start searing off the marinated meat in batches. So I've got a good amount of the grease from the bacon here in the pan, but I'm going to run with it to make, well, to have enough to sear off all the batches of meat, and we'll see how much is left over when we're done, because generally when you're done with that, you want a couple tablespoons of oil to saute your onion in. So we're hoping is that we've got enough left in the pan to saute the onion in too, because bacon grease tastes fabulous. So we've got our meat that's been separated out from the wine, and we're just going to add in here and we're using our tongs to turn the meat, to put the bacon grease in there especially. There's a fair amount of splatter going on, so this keeps us nicely removed from that. And we want to make sure that all of our sides are just nicely, beautifully browned. Now, if you were cooking your bacon on medium-high or medium, we might want to turn it up. We've got ours a little bit higher, so almost to high on our little induction burner here. And it smells good enough to eat as is. I can't wait until this is done. I love making the beef bourguignon. As your meat browns, if you leave your Dutch oven right next to the frying pan, you can just move the done pieces into the frying pan and move on to your next batch. We're going to go ahead and transfer these into our Dutch oven and add our diced onion. And then when that's sauteed, we're going to transfer that into the Dutch oven as well and start making our sauce here in our frying pan. Turn your heat down if you don't want to burn your onion. So we're going to bring the sauce to a boil when we get it going. At this point, you can go ahead and start preheating your oven to 395 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's about 205 degrees Celsius. And I'm pretty happy with those onions. I'm going to go ahead and transfer them into the Dutch oven now. And if you get a few of your onions left in there, don't worry about it. We'll deal with that. I'm going to add in the flour here and let it soak up that oil that's remaining in the pan. I'm going to add in my tomato paste. Start spreading that too. And then go ahead and grab that wine you removed the meat from, and we'll start adding that in bits. Rest of the wine here and grab a whisk. You want to go ahead and get all those bits that are on the bottom of the pan up. That's fine. Any additional seasoning that we'd like to add, we're going to add it when we add the sauce here into the Dutch oven. Add your broth, and then we'll bring this to a boil and pour it over the contents of the Dutch oven, all the meat and the onion and the bacon. We're going to bring this to a boil and we'll be right back. Okay, our sauce has been boiling and we are going to pour it directly over the meat and the bacon and the sauteed onion, as you see here. Okay, our vegetables are going to go in about halfway through the baking. So we're going to put this in the oven at 395 degrees for an hour, and then we will place our vegetables in it as well as 2 tablespoons of butter to give it a nice sheen. As Gordon Ramsay says, makes it shiny and glossy. So at this point you can sprinkle some more salt and pepper on if you want. Be sure and taste it. I'm going to add some more thyme and a little bit of rosemary, and then cover this and place it in the oven. And we'll be back when we pull this out to add the vegetables to it so you can see how it's been cooking for that hour. Okay, our beef bourguignon has been in the oven for 1 hour. We're going to go ahead and add our pearl onions, our halved mushrooms, and our sliced carrots. Not burn your hand. We'll stir those. Stir that in. That beef is already super soft. And this is going to be so good. It's always so yummy. Okay, we'll add a couple tablespoons of butter. Make it nice and shiny. Now is a good point to taste your sauce and make sure everything's coming out okay. That is delicious, and because it is already kind of the salt in it is almost just right, and because it's going to cook for another hour, I'm not going to add any more. We're going to wait till the very end, and I think it'll be perfect. So I'm going to cover this back up, put it back in the oven, and continue baking it for an hour in the oven, in the Dutch oven here, and then it will be done. We'll be back then. That's all done. Look at that. That's beautiful. I'm going to dish that up. So you saw our beef bourguignon as it came out of the oven, opened up the top, all that steam. It is beautiful. It smells amazing like usual. This is a really fantastic dinner, and it might take a little bit of extra time, but it is worth every bit of it. There's ours served up with the pasta, and it is lovely. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to give us a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe on your way out if you haven't already. As always, we're so glad to have you here with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.